These are the shoes of a youth dealing with bipolar disorder.
These are the shoes of a youth who's been stigmatized for being gay.
These are the shoes of a youth who has struggled with anxiety.
This is Kentucky, home to 4.4 million citizens, broken up into 120 counties, known as the Bluegrass State. It's known for the Derby, basketball, and beautiful farmland. But there's a population that's falling through the cracks. 16 to 25-year-olds are known as transition-age youth. These youth are transitioning from teenhood into adulthood and face challenges that would be difficult for anybody, but unfortunately, there are circumstances that make this time period even worse.
The magic number of 18 put her in a strange environment and put us in a strange environment and strange world. And all the resources that had been available before were no longer available. We didn't have that same support system that we had had in the children's program. And she was left to kind of wander around and try to navigate the system without a lot of assistance.
There are over 592,000 transition-age youth in the state, which make up 13.5% of the population. A lot of these youth have severe behavioral health issues. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that 25% of adults 18 and older will have a diagnosable mental illness within a given year. Kentucky as a whole is dealing with several issues that plague youth. Many struggle with homelessness, substance abuse, teen pregnancy, have spent time in the foster care system, or face other major issues. Many youth are at risk of developing more than one of these problems as they grow into adulthood. A lot of these youth don't know what help is out there. They don't know where to start, and often lack the knowledge of resources available to them. These are the youth that are falling through the cracks and need help, just like all of us do, navigating this thing called life. Kentucky would benefit from a major investment in awareness, outreach, and engagement activities to support youth before their life story starts to be written for them through these struggles. Dr. Alan Brenzel is the clinical director for the Department of Behavioral Health, Developmental and Intellectual Disabilities.
So as a child and adolescent psychiatrist and a mental health professional, as well as the director of behavioral health for the state of Kentucky, one of the things that concerns me most is that when we look at our data about who is utilizing behavioral health services and to what degree are we reaching the young transition age population, the data shows us that we're doing a relatively poor job. And that concerns me because we know that there are many complex challenges that need to be negotiated between the ages of 16 to 25. We know that there are many conditions that begin to show the symptoms during that age. And I believe that unfortunately we've designed a system that makes it difficult for that age to feel comfortable in our healthcare system. So, what I'm excited about is this program will create different entry points, peer supports, settings in which individuals can come in a non-threatening way, learn from each other, and then begin to have help in terms of negotiating what might be available to assist them.
I think at this time, the important piece is that children who are aging out of care and youth who are transitioning to adulthood are still having a difficult time navigating the system of care in Kentucky. Although we work towards giving them skill sets and the tools that they need to be successful, every day there's a new challenge for them. And as the system changes, it is my hope in the days ahead that the system will be easier to navigate, that they will have better tools to navigate, and that they'll be able to get the services that they need and maintain stability, and really change the statistical data for Kentucky.
My name's Stephanie Sykes, and I spent 14 years with my biological family. And in that 14 years, I spent from the time I was 4 to, of course, the time I was 14 in several behavioral health systems, including hospitals, outpatient treatment, and in all forms of counseling like Impact and Impact Plus. And then when I was 14, I went in front of a judge and was removed from my home and put into foster care. And I remained in foster care until I was about 20 years old. Something I struggled with during that entire time was my depression, and even more specifically, trying to find a place to belong because of it. I think even with my biological family, although I was blood and I was theirs, it was just hard for them to understand the limits that came with my depression, things that I could and couldn't do, and hard to encourage me to overcome some things. So when I turned 14 and got put into foster care, as you can imagine, that was extremely traumatizing, and that feeling of lack of belonging got even worse for me. And it wasn't really until I got to college and met up with a counselor there that I really got to work some of that out. I joined a leadership group called Voices of the Commonwealth here in Kentucky. And that's a group of people who are 16 to 25 years old, and they're all alums of the foster care system. And walking into that room for the first time and sitting down at the first meeting, it was like a really, really amazing feeling. It was like, finally, I found my place. And I think that was because I wasn't just going to a room full of foster youth that had issues and were stewing in their issues and complaining about them or anything like that. Not that I had even seen that before, but it was just something that was so amazing because there was a group of successful people, youth who felt like they wanted to do something about changing their circumstances, but who were still going through the same things, and having that positive feeling and feeling of hope just gave me this peace and this sense of belonging. And that's something I hope to accomplish, and I want to see these places accomplish too, is have a positive place for people to connect with other youth who are positively trying to change what they're going through and change their circumstances.
Kentucky, as well as 16 other states, got awarded a Healthy Transitions grant. Out of this awarded money, TAYLRD was born. Transition Age Youth Launching Realized Dreams. TAYLRD's goal is to improve access to treatment and support services for youth and young adults between 16 and 25 years old, who either have or are at risk of developing a serious behavioral health condition. Through this grant, locations will be open that provide a safe, drug-free, inviting space for young people to come and gain skills and support as they enter into adulthood. These places will be developed in the implementation sites chosen, which are the Louisville area and its outskirts, along with Ashland area and its outskirts.
There's so many kids out there that respond to different type of services, different people in different environments. So the more you have, I think the better. The key would be, how vested are these people, are these services, and just really sticking with these kids through the good times and the bad times to see them through. Because you can have the numbers, but the quality is questionable, then it's a whole new ballgame. But I think the more you have, the merrier, especially when everybody's working together for that common goal to see that kid, reach their full potential. So I think it's a good thing. Because sometimes, we have kids living here. We have a young lady right now that's 18 years old. She's going to be going home. She's been bucking, she's committed to the state, and she's been bucking the system all along. But here she's doing fairly well here. When I talk to her, I get the sense that she's listening a little bit. but maybe, and she's gonna be going a couple of days. So if there's some way to connect her to something that she can want to be a part of, something that she can buy into, because at 18, if she doesn't buy into it, then it's going to be tough. So the challenge is, how do you get her to buy into something that will help her be successful, from 18 onward. So I think partnering with people that you can call and have the resources that a kid you can make reference to help them out, I think it's a good thing. It's always a good thing to have partnerships that you can call on when a kid needs the service.
Both of these sites will have 2 centers in each region, one in a metropolitan area and one in a rural area. This was done purposely to target certain populations. The objective is to target African Americans, Hispanic or Latinos, Appalachian youth, and youth who identify as LGBTQ.
I was kind of weird growing up, like not really feeling like I fit in with my family, and just like always feeling different too, because I've always known that I was gay, like since I was like a little kid. Like I always knew like something was different, and like when I finally realized that like I'm gay, like I was like 13, 14, it was really hard, because like I would see like kids that had come out in like middle and high school, and they would get like just the crap. So I was really scared to come out, and I didn't for a long time until I was about 15, 16, and so like ever since though, it's been like such a liberating thing, and I'm totally comfortable with who I am now. But it all happened at once. It seemed like I came out, I was struggling with using drugs, and then I was put in state's care, like all within like months of each other. And so it was really important for me to like find people who had a similar background to me, so I could feel like I wasn't so alone. And so someone who I could talk to, because I can talk to a counselor until I'm blue in the face, but they're reading from a textbook. They're telling me from like textbook things like, here's what you should do, because I'm reading it from a textbook. And so like it's a different feeling than like when I'm talking to someone like real time, and they're like, yeah, I did that too. Here's what I did. Here's how I made it through that. Like, let me give you my experience.
The population of Jefferson County is over 750,000. 21.3% of that population is African American, and 4.6% of that population is Hispanic. Shelby County is one of the 6 counties surrounding Jefferson, and 9% of their population is Hispanic, which makes 7 counties the best region to place drop-in centers in order to reach these specific populations. Pathways is part of the Appalachian region of the state and is made up of 10 counties. 8 are rural and 6 are labeled distressed. Although rich in culture and natural resources, the poverty rate has been historically high in this area of the state. The present poverty rate being 25.1% across the Appalachian region. The poverty rate within Pathways ranges from 16.6% in Greenup County to 33.7% in Elliott County. Pathways is the best region for targeting the Appalachian population. There will be several positions accounted for with the TAYLRD initiative. Each site will have a local project director, local youth coordinator, and peer support specialist who will be the first point of contact when you walk into these places. These places will have the ability to help youth navigate both formal and informal services, such as employment, education support, career planning, support with medication management, age-specific developmentally appropriate behavioral health services, and coordination of care, life skills, healthcare navigation, and peer support. Formal services already exist for adults and children, but only a small portion of transition-age youth are accessing services in community mental health centers. Peer support is the biggest informal key to what TAYLRD is about. Traditional services will be in place, but peer support will open the door for transition-age youth to feel comfortable and engage. Youth who have struggled tend to be more open and engaging with young adults who have been through the same thing or similar experiences.
If it wasn't for being involved in leadership, I would have probably died by suicide or been in a really dark place, because my life just looked really dark and it didn't look like I could achieve much or that I could go anywhere. And not a lot of people had expectations for me. They just kind of brushed me off, and I was another label, so I felt. And now I'm able to work with those same people in a professional capacity, so it's kind of mind-blowing, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I would hope that I could be that person to just impact the life of just one youth.
The state-level team was the first team established within the initiative and provides oversight to local implementation, as well as other things that are critical to the success of TAYLRD.
I want to see the way that services and supports are offered to youth and young adults, that the way that happens completely transformed, where we are working with youth as partners rather than as clients or consumers or patients, that we are working with youth and young adults as partners in treatment, and we are letting them guide us to where they want to go as far as treatment or services, that we really start respecting young people as being the experts on themselves, and trusting them that they are the experts on themselves, and also trusting that they do have the ability to partner with other young people and help those young people make positive changes in their lives, that we can really get behind that and believe it, and realize that, you know, as great of skills that we may have as professionals and how much we care and how much empathy we have, that there's really nothing like that peer support, as far as someone really feeling supported by someone who that they trust, can understand where they're coming from. So my dream is that youth peer support will be an established, respected, solid position in our state, and that the way that we begin to view young people is as competent assets to our communities and agencies, and see that they can really be leaders, whether in their own lives, in their communities, or in our state. And I hope that this initiative helps us move toward that.
For more information, friend us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/KY TAYLRD.